but I'll keep it hush.
The more you begin to live like a Christian, you'll begin to realize when people are getting argumentative. Now, I wanted to kind of clear up a particular word in that has been translated disputing, and so it's also been translated reasoned. So what happens is we get engaged in a dialogue with people talking about Christian things, and what happens is you'll begin to realize that people become argumentative in their words, like they're trying to wrestle you with their speech. So I wanted to discuss a word that is even still the same in the English. It's dialogue. So if you look in the Greek, there's the word dialegomai, and logos comes from Legos. So dialogue, Lego, you can hear that in there. So or logos. So it says dialogizomai is one of the words, and dialegomai, and there's a couple of them. So I just wanted to talk about these places where they translated disputing, because Paul did not go to the synagogues to fight with the Jews. He went there to tell them about Jesus Christ. And that's what happens to us when we try to tell people about Jesus Christ, is people want to fight all of a sudden, even though we don't want to fight with them. So it says, let me give you an example. In Mark 9:34, it says they had disputed among themselves. So it's not disputed. It was probably reasoned. So that's what I'm saying. Dialegomai, I can't see having the idea of fighting. And I'm going to look more into this as well for myself to make sure that I'm not confusing y'all. So this will be a learning process together. But I can't imagine a lot of fighting going on. It's like reasoning among themselves, not fighting. So in Acts 17:2, it was translated reasoned, and then in Acts 17:17, it was translated disputed. Therefore disputed he in the synagogue. So why in the world would a Christian go and try to fight with people? You're not, as a Christian, we're not supposed to be violent or try to fight or even get in like these coarse words and being mean. We can rebuke someone, but you still don't have to be mean when you rebuke somebody. So in 18:4, it was translated reasoned, and then in verse 19 of chapter 18, reasoned. Oh yeah, and this is Acts. So, and then in chapter 19 of Acts, in verse 8, they translated disputing again. Disputing and persuading. He wasn't disputing, he was reasoning. And then again in verse 9, disputing daily in the school. He wasn't disputing, he was reasoning. Dialogue is a reasoning, right? Not fighting. And then translated it preached unto. In chapter 20, verse 7, Paul preached unto them, ready? So a dialogue, right? He was reasoning with them. And then again in verse, in verse, it's in chapter 20, maybe verse 8. I'm not sure. It's been scraped off of my book here. So it says, Paul was long preaching. He's sunk. So it's preaching there. And then in chapter 24, verse 12, disputing. And then in verse 25, reasoned. So, and then speaketh in Hebrews 12:5. And then in Jude 9, he disputed about the body of Moses. So there you go. These are just examples of the way they have translated it to all these different words. But and then there's even more, but I won't continue on for right now. I'm reading to you from the Word Study Concordance, and this just shows you everywhere where a Greek word is mentioned. So as Christians, we should engage in dialogue, but we shouldn't be fighting with people or trying to get argumentative and all that contention and strife and stress. It stresses you out. It makes you hurt. It might leave you with a headache or with a sore back, and it will just amplify any kind of health problems you have. So don't fight with people. Okay, well, I appreciate you watching this video, and I hope it helped you learn a little more about not only a mistranslation, but also about how Christians ought to behave when they talk to people. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.
And I'll keep it hush.